So how do you use the paddles on the Festool Domino? Howdy, my name is Robert Dailey with Dailey Woodworks and the Recreational Woodworker.com, where we help you build great furniture. And I am doing a series to answer questions about specific tools. I already have several videos out on the Domino, but I'm going to try to make quick little videos answering questions. So if I don't answer your exact question in this video, go ahead and leave a comment down below. That way I know that I should address it in a future video. So without wasting any more of your time, let's dive right into this. I'll show you how I use these paddles to assemble my cabinet doors for the dog kennels that I make a lot of. Okay, with every cabinet door or face frame construction, you have your rails and your stiles. Your rails are your horizontal pieces. I always like to think handrail, so it's going to be horizontal. And you have your stiles, which are your vertical pieces right here. In this instance, I have a top and a bottom piece. All I need to make sure is these holes point towards the inside for my door. And go ahead and grab and assemble that. And the first thing we have to do is mark our reference areas. The nice thing about the paddles on the Domino is that as long as you have your reference points match up, the Domino tenon slot is going to be exactly where you need it on all the pieces. On one of my corners, I need to know that I want my paddle to reference on this outside edge for both of them. So I'm going to use a carpenter's triangle to do that. It doesn't have to be perfect or exact. So I'm going to make sure my point of my triangle points to the reference edge of my where my paddle is going to go. Then I complete the triangle with my line going across, and this represents where my tenon is going to go. Now, is my tenon going to be exactly here? Not at all. So now let's get the Domino, and I'll show you how it's going to reference on each of these spots. To better illustrate, I set up my Domino in my Domino Dock by Ramon Valdez. It's a great add-on accessory for the Festool Domino that adds a lot of function to it. I will link to all the relevant Domino videos in the playlist. Now we have our triangle and our half of a triangle. So we know this is our face. So the face always goes against the plate. My arrow is pointing this way, so I'm going to come against the paddle here. And when I plunge down, my Domino will go across this. The same with my rail. I'm going to take it. My arrow, my triangle, points towards the paddle. And then the base of my triangle shows me the orientation of the Domino, and then that would plunge down. I'm going to show it from one more angle, so hopefully you can really grasp what's going on. Okay, I'm showing this from another camera angle so you can see what's going on. We have our triangle. This line's always going to show where the plunge is going to be. That's going to go against the paddle. That's going to go against the face, and then that's what's going to plunge down. So that's how it works. I can't show you the vertical right now because it's in the way. Again, if you have questions or if this is unclear, leave comments down below. We're here to help you figure out how to get the most out of your Domino. So now I'm just going to set up and mill this up just like you would. So as you can see, I now have my triangles on all 4 joints, and all the triangles are pointing to the outside where the paddle is going to reference. And the cool thing about this is if I had 10 doors to make, as long as I put my triangles right, any rail, any style will fit together just fine, because that indexing is so accurate that you can batch these things out. So if I had 10 of this to do, I would just do all 10 at once, and then I would just grab from my pile as assembling when I was assembling, and not have to worry about labeling, you know, joint A, joint B, joint C, joint D. You don't have to worry about any of that with this Domino system. All right, we are ready to mill up some Dominoes. Now I will cover setting up your Domino in a different video. So again, plug for subscriptions, but I have it set on narrow. I have the plunge depth set for 20, which is for 3/4 inch material, and I'm using my 6mm bit. So now I'm going to take this paddle, reference off the point of my Domino, and then plunge it in 20 20 millimeters because I'm using my 40 millimeter dominoes. Now I'm going to unclamp it, flip it around, and then quickly reclamp it. These are the Festool clamping elements. They are worth every penny. I got mine from Texas Toolcraft. They are seriously one of the best Festool that you can buy. Now you can see the point of my triangle is pointing the different way, so I'm going to use this right paddle to left for you, right for me, to reference off of this side. And I'm just going to hook it on, roll it in, make sure I'm all flat, and then plunge it in. So you can see if I had 10, 15 doors to do, that would make this super duper easy. Now for the styles, I have to do it a little bit different. So again, I'm going to use my Festool clamping elements, make sure I'm referenced well. Clamp it into place. You can see my triangle's pointing this way. My line showing me where my domino is going to reference is here. So I'm going to hook it. Come in, turn it on. And now I'm going to come back and do the other side. Okay, so my door is laid out. I've got everything lined up. And just to show you, you can see right here that those triangles line up and I have all the triangles in the right spot. But just to show you how accurate this tool is, I'm intentionally going to flip it. Now you can see that my triangles do not line up, and so this is the wrong order. We are now ready to assemble, and there's just a few tools that we need to do that. First is a damp rag to get the glue squeeze out off, a little mallet to drive the domino in if we need it, of course our glue, and I do love the glue bot. So now we're just going to pick a side, flip it up on its edge, put glue in, and put our dominoes in. I err on the side of too much glue because glue is cheap, warranty work is not. So put a little bit more in there than I know I need, and I can trust that as I drive this tenon in, it's going to force that glue out of the spaces and cover everywhere I need it to cover. So that's one. Now, I'm just going to make sure that our arrows are pointing the right way. Again, you can't assemble this backwards because if I tried to assemble this backwards, I'll show you. You can see that doesn't line up at all because I don't have my arrows pointing the same way. So I'm going to put glue into my mortise. I'm going to put that down. Yes, I'm going to have glue squeeze out, but that's how you know you got enough glue, right? And glue in the mortise. I always glue my end grain. I know it doesn't do much, but it does something, and I'll take that little extra something that it does. So I have these guys done now. Now I need to do my tops. Now I'm doing the same exact thing with these, as I'm just going to put glue across the end grain and in my mortise. Probably more than necessary. I'm taking my 6mm dominoes. 6x40 is what I'm using on this. You can use 8x40s, 10x40s. It's really, you can judge the size you need based on your material thickness. But again, that's another video. So if you have a question about which domino to use where, be sure to leave that in the comments so we know that that's a question that we should answer. Now, if I don't make sure my arrow is pointing forward, this is going to align off. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble it backwards, even though I've already got glue in here. Hopefully not too much bad happens. But when you assemble a domino joint off backwards, you're going to see it's got a lip right there and a lip right here. That's because the domino itself is slightly off center. That's on purpose. So I'm going to disassemble this real quick. And of course, my dominoes didn't come out together. So I'm going to flip this guy around, put that in there. Make sure all my arrows are facing forward towards the camera. And go to your home. There we go. And now we're done. Now we're going to take our wet rag and we're going to clean up our glue squeeze out before it really stains our wood. And of course this door is going to get sanded and then stained. This is red oak material in case you're wondering. And this process would be the same if you're doing a frame and panel 5-piece door. You would just route out your slot and then you would put your dominoes in just like I showed you. When I do that, I typically like to use a bigger, thicker domino to get a little bit more meat. And I try to stop my slot from coming all the way through. I try to stop my router slot about right there. But there's a cool way to plug that. That, again, another video. I'm doing all the teasing you with more videos. But this is it, guys. This is your domino door. This is going to be extremely strong, extremely durable. And then you can see how tight and nice and smooth that door is. There's going to be barely any sanding needed. And to clamp it, I've got a nice finish here so nothing sticks to this. I can just use my clamping elements in my MFT top to come in and clamp it. And what I have found is that these need about an hour in the clamps before you can handle them. Now, you don't want to subject them to full use, but after about an hour in the clamps, that tenon has swollen and that glue is set up enough where you can go ahead and start sanding and get this thing processed. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video all the way through. I hope you learned something. If you have any other tips or tricks, I'm always willing to learn something new. And if you have a question that this didn't quite answer, be sure to ask it in the comments. I'd encourage you to check out our playlist, which is linked in the description and the pinned comment over the Festool Domino. I've got a few videos and I'm trying to add more to it to have kind of a comprehensive tutorial on that without really long videos. Hope you subscribe to the channel. Give me a like if you liked it. Give me a dislike if you disliked it. And be sure to check out my buddy Kevin over at texastoolcraft.com. He is my local Festool dealer, and he has always treated me right, treated me well, and I'm happy to support him and recommend that you check him out as well. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.